Welcome to the best time of the month. It's time for the top 10 albums of June 2022. That's right, coming to the end of another month, and it's pretty much halfway through the year now. So we've had so many good releases, so it's going to be interesting to see what you guys think is the best of each month so far as well. So down below in the comments, let me know what's your favourite album every month so far, and what's your favourite of June. And let's get started with my picks. So coming in at number 10, we have Haint über Alles by Kreator. Let's go. The mighty Kreator is back, probably my favourite thrash band of all time, alongside stuff like Vector, Skeleton Witch, those kind of technical, almost blackened thrash bands, but in terms of actual thrash, Kreator's easily my favourite. Easily my favourite. And this album is fantastic as well, so many good, hard-hitting songs on here, but I feel like it's not as good as Gods of Violence or as Phantom Antichrist. I do feel like it's a bit weaker than those two, but even the weaker Kreator albums are still fantastic. So, although I prefer the songs on the previous two Kreator albums, it's still a Kreator album, it still bangs, and I'm still going to listen to it over and over again, so it's still going to make the goddamn list. Next up, we have Porcupine Tree with Closure Continuation. Let's give it a listen.
It's just what the thunder said. So pack up your belongings. Start talking with yourself.
Porcupine Tree is back after I don't know how many years, like 16 years, something ridiculous since they disbanded. And now they're back with another magnum opus. They don't really do bad albums, Porcupine Tree. This is progressive metal, or even progressive rock, if you will, in a similar vein as, say, you know, Opeth, Dream Theater, that kind of style of music. Even Coheed, which had an album out this month as well. That kind of style, and this one's just... it's just great. There's long songs, amazing singing. Steven Wilson is a genius. I mean, he helped write the song Bleak by Opeth, so that's a 10 out of 10 in my books. But yeah, this album is another one to add to the collection. Another great Porcupine Tree album, and I'm going to listen to it a lot. So coming in next, we're going to Scotland. We're going to go listen to Saor with Origins. Let's give it a listen. This atmospheric black metal band just is a banger after banger after banger of an album. I don't like this album as much as I did Forgotten Legends. I thought that was a masterpiece. I love Niche guest spotting on this one, so I don't think this one's as good as that. But again, kind of like the Kreator comparison, just because it's not as good as some of the others doesn't mean it's bad. It's still a fantastic atmospheric black metal album, kind of taking you to the lands of Scotland within the music. Very unique. Quite folky, so if you like that kind of stuff, you know, Winter Philith, Wolves in the Throne Room, that kind of stuff, then you'll enjoy Saor and listen to all their other albums, because all their other albums are fantastic as well. So many good releases, and Origins is another one. Next up, we're going for some atmospheric black metal to some raw, aggressive black metal with Vile Haint. Vile Haint with Sacrificial Baptism in Murky Waters. Let's go. Yep, this is on the more raw scale of things, bit more aggressive, bit more... I mean, it's still atmospheric as well, but the production is more like, I don't know, say like a Burzum than say a Saor or anything like that. But I just loved it. This kind of music is like beautiful to me. I love just listening to it when I'm trying to sleep or anything like that. It just kind of puts me in this nice mood, and it helps you drift off. If you're into that kind of raw black metal to help you drift off, this is an amazing album. One that I checked out recently, and I'm gonna check it out again and again because I loved it. Speaking of bands coming back after so many years, we have Enchantment with Cold Soul Embrace. This Death Doom band was around back in like 1993 and 4, back when Paradise Lost and all those bands, Death Doom bands were coming around. They released one album and then they come back 2022 to release the follow-up. Do you know how many years that is? That's stupid. And it's Death Doom. It's beautiful. The singing is just as harrowing as it was back then. You know, they got the screams. You got that melancholy with the aggressiveness. You know, if you like Death Doom, I love Death Doom, so I really enjoyed this album quite a bit. A lot of mood in it, a lot of different textures within. I loved it. I think it's a great album. It's quite overlooked, so I think people need to go check it out because Enchantment released a banger. Speaking of Death Doom, Temple of Void released another album, Summoning the Slayer. So, more Death Doom now, but this is more evil, murky, just bleh, demons coming after you kind of Death Doom, similar to Hooded Menace, which is probably my favourite Death Doom band. But they have a similar style, and I thoroughly enjoyed Summoning the Slayer. It is a masterpiece of an album. I was annoyed because last year or the year before, can't remember what it was, what's the thing that should not... Whatever the previous album by Temple of Void was, with the... like the lake and the cool structure in the background, that was probably one of my favourites of the entire year. I'm pretty sure it was in my top 10 of the year as well, and I loved it to pieces. This isn't as good as that one. It kind of misses a bit of the atmosphere, but the Death Doom songs, it's still there. So I still love this one as well. It's hard to go wrong with Temple of Void. All their albums are amazing. Lords of Death, go check that one out. Go check that one out. I love them. Yep, another album that's definitely going to be on this list is Temple of Goddamn Void. It's great. Next up, we have... next up, we'll get into some weird avant-garde shit, because all the other ones we're going to talk about are goddamn weird, starting with... Throes of Death from the Dreamed Nihilism by Bekor Killish. Definitely said that wrong, but let's listen. Yeah, from the art, you know, you're getting yourself in for this one. Weird, cosmic, avant-garde, black and death fun. Like, the vocals sound like Shagrath from Dimmu Borgir, but the music is like Gorguts. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. Very technical, very spacey. Oh, Pestilence are like that. Very technical, very spacey, and... I don't know, I love it. I could have put... These next couple of albums I could swap in any order. I almost had this number one. In fact, I did for a while. And then I was like, maybe not, but now it's come to here. I could easily go to one next month. I love it. The changes within, it is very tech death, but it's in a way which is just mind-boggling, like Ulcerate or Gorguts, rather than some other tech death bands. Yeah, I thoroughly love it. Thoroughly love it, which is why it's making it here. Everyone needs to check it out. And that artwork, oh. Next up, we have Consecration of the Spiritus Flesh by Esoctrilihum. Yep, I told you it's getting weird. Esoctrilihum, let's go. One of my favourite black metal bands, and this is another strange band where the vocals sound like a demon speaking to you, but unlike my album of the year last year, which was this band, this was my favourite album of the year last year. They made Dieth Requiem for the Serpent Telepath, which I have over there. I loved it. This one, is just as good, but in a different way. This one's more aggressive, more to the point, in your face, less songs, less atmospheric. And a lot of people would like that, so I feel like a lot of people would have this a bit higher on the list. Even though I love it, I'd give it like a 9. For me, I like the more experimental side of Esoctrilihum and some of the other albums, but this one's still a flawless album. And if you like the more punchy, basically, if you listen to Dieth and said, oh, it's a bit too long, it's a bit too meandering, there's a bit too many experimental parts, you'd love this album. It's to the point, fast, aggressive, it'll knock your head off. Go listen to it. Number 2, we have White Ward with False Light. Let's listen. Now this album's been getting a lot of buzz recently, and I was like, should I check it out? The album cover looks shit. It's just a house. I was like, yeah. And then I checked it out, and it blew my mind. Yep, blew my mind. And then I was like, hey, Jamie, you need to check this album out. And now he loves it as well. Yeah, White Ward is just... it's black metal again, but it's very avant-garde black metal, very jazzy, jazz me up, buttercup. Yeah, it is. So the saxophone solos on it, it's super jazz, this album. And the black metal is still there, though. It's still aggressive and still intense when it hits, but it just has these beautiful moments on. It's kind of like Rivers of Nile mixed with, I don't know, Winter Phillips, let's just say that. Mix them two together, there you go, there's White Ward. Ukrainian black metal, fantastic, probably one of my favourite countries for black metal. And they knocked it out of the park. And it's not just this, the first album they did was amazing as well. They haven't made a stinker yet, but yeah. If you like that kind of weird kind of black metal, you'll love this album. And I do as well. I could easily put it number 1. I could easily put it number 1. And I feel like it's going to be number 1 on a lot of people's lists. And it'll probably make my end of the year list. It will. This month is stupid. These last 4 I've mentioned could easily be my top 10 of the year. Easily. But one album I've listened to the most. So my number 1 is going to be Artificial Brain. With Artificial Brain, let's go. So I told you it's still weird. Can't fly. So it's like tech death, Gorguts kind of style with a slam vocal. It's just, it blows my mind. Every time I listen to this, it's insane. I knew from the artwork it was going to be great. This kind of like ruined turret with like moss growing on it, kind of like something from Zelda. I loved it. Or some kind of like Star Wars planet. It's very strange, it's very cosmic, but it's also very technical and just aggressive as hell. So there's parts where you just want to headbang. There's parts where you're just kind of like, what? The drumming in it is insane. The drumming, just listen to the drumming. Like, it's absolutely bonkers how good the drumming is on this album. The vocal delivery is insane. The screams on some of the songs, not just the low gutturals, but the screams, harrowing. Yeah, it is just 40 whatever minutes of pure blistering tech death genius. And yeah, I love it. I love it. And it's atmospheric as well. To be tech death with like slam vocals and being atmospheric the entire time is a testament to how good this album is. Artificial Brain, self-titled, is, I want to say easily, but it's not because this month was really hard. But it is my album of the month. So, there we go. Let me know yours down below. What's your favourite album of June 2022? What do you like? What do you not like? What have I missed off? Let me know and we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.